What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to episode 178 of The Spectators. Today we had WBC action that's been taking place all week. NFL free agency has just started today, even though it was kind of going on before with all the cuttings. But today is the official first tampering day, and there's already been a bunch of signings that we're going to get into. And then we also had last night the March Madness bracket drop, so we'll give our first impressions at that because neither of us have looked at it since it released. I was just waiting for this, and I kind of want to get a live reaction. So we're gonna get into that.
Yeah,
What's going on, BK?
not much. We doing good. We doing good. Been enjoying the WBC. It's been weird. I haven't been a fan that we got the WBC right in the middle of spring training. It's been odd, but whatever. I'm enjoying baseball. We're gonna get into some of those games. I actually got it on right now. We got DR and Nicaragua playing right now, so we vibing. We vibing.
Yeah, the coolest part about it has been, especially since the weekend started, when all the teams were playing, there's been pretty much a game on at all times throughout the day, which has
Yeah,
been really cool. And that's part of some of the games being in the US, some of them being over in Asia. The time zones are crazy, and time's a magical thing. It's not real, but
it's not real.
it's definitely not. But it's been fun, and we have two of the brackets already completed, with one of them being the one that Japan is in. Japan absolutely steamrolled everybody. they
Yep.
Japan just went crazy. 38 runs scored to the 8 allowed on a 30 differential. They went 4-0. They really just beat the crap out of everybody. And Australia also advanced out of that division as well. So Japan and Australia, two teams out of all their groups of 5 are advancing to, or is it the round of 16, I think? I think it's 4 pools. Yeah, the round of 16. No, math is hard. Round of 8. Wow. No, crazy. So Japan and Australia are advancing out of the pool B. Shout out to China for coming, but they didn't really participate. They got kind of slapped across the board and up and down, left and right. Korea beat China today, 22-2.
Insane.
22-2. There's been a lot of blowouts in this. Like, an insane amount of blowouts. A lot of runs. I don't know if it's because just the hitters are far more advanced than the pitchers in this, which it definitely kind of feels like. A lot of the best pitchers in the world are not here because pitching hurts your arm the more you do it. So they're like, we'll hold this one out. And
Yeah, there's a reason why they got everybody on like what is it, 60 pitch limit.
yeah, it's like
Can't go more
65.
than
You can't
that.
go more than 65 pitches, and it's only in
Yeah,
pool play. You can do more once we make it to the playoffs.
which
But
makes sense.
yeah,
Makes sense.
it feels very like little league esque, but like not like a bad thing. It's
No,
making you have to actually manage your teams and all that. If there's anything that I can say about the game so far, is that what the MLB is doing with the pitch clock, to me, and I know a lot of people probably don't agree. Some people are like happy that it's not a thing in this. I think the pitch clock is one of the best things they've ever done, like already, and we haven't even
yeah,
really seen that much happen. This game with Great Britain and Canada yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever it was, it wound up ending 18-8 in a run rule. Shout out to Canada, run rule in Great Britain, right? It was a 2.5 hour game in the fourth inning. We didn't even get to 9 innings in this game because of the run roll, and it was a 4 hour game. 4 hours. There would have been another hour minimum if we finished the game. Minimum.
wild, wild.
And like, I'm not here to watch a 5 hour sporting event, period. Any event. I'm not here for that. That's
I
two
can't think of
Marvel
one
movies.
that I want.
That's like 80% of a Netflix show I could binge.
Yeah,
If I'm watching
I'm
anime, that's a full anime. 12 episodes. 20 minutes. Do the math.
I'm a big fan of the pitch clock because it's just constant action. You're not dealing with the downtime throughout the game. You can actually just lock in and watch. And I mean that's always been something that's baseball has over other sports. You could put it on, go have a barbecue, go chill out, and just vibe. You can go to the game and just vibe. But now you're really going up the action, and that's what baseball needs. That's what baseball needs, just to keep it flowing. We don't need 45 minutes of dead time. It's not doing nothing for anybody.
Yeah, and
So
so the longness of the games are definitely an issue. But like it's also the
yeah.
WBC, and this happens every 4 years, so it's not like I'm darn.
Oh no, I'm
It's
cool. I'm
cool.
cool with it for the WBC. Keep it in
It
the MLB. Any
yeah,
international play, cool. I don't mind it.
no.
I mean, again, I'm not gonna not watch the games because they're long. Like I'm gonna still tune in. I always have. I'm gonna still tune in. Like the pitch clock isn't gonna make it break it for me.
Yeah,
It's just nice.
it's really
I like
nice.
it.
It's really
I
nice.
like it. But with the pool play, with pool A and B already locked up, now we got Japan versus Italy and Cuba versus Australia.
Yeah, and that
How you looking on that?
well, that just goes to show if you looked at Pool A, right? All five teams ended 2-2, which is
Yeah,
about as cool as it's gonna get. And so it just came down to
yeah,
run differential and runs scored and runs allowed. Chinese Taipei ended 2-2. They scored the most runs out of their pool, but they also let up the most, and they let up more than
yeah.
they scored, which got them a -5 run differential, which means they were out of the tournament, which really sucks because, and I told you this earlier, but Chinese Taipei now has to re-qualify for the WBC next time, which is even worse because with their situation in China, they might not be an entity by the next WBC or by the next qualifiers. So there's a lot
Which
of
is
like
wild.
weird things kind of happening with that group. I mean, hopefully they qualify again. Hopefully it's under Taiwan and not Chinese Taipei. That would be really cool. That'd be way sicker. And it does kind of suck that they got eliminated. But that division was insane. I mean, the Netherlands were really good, and Panama looked better than I would have imagined they would have without Mo. Which, granted, he's been gone for 15 years, but
Yeah.
And yeah, so
Just quick.
the matchups are going to be really good.
Yeah, quick question though. You mentioned Chinese Taipei has to requalify. Is that just because they got last in their pool? Does that mean everybody that gets
Every,
last in each pool has
every
to requalify?
every last place in every pool, so China included, has to requalify for the
Yeah,
WBC. You do not automatically qualify.
but everybody else does.
I believe so.
Hmm.
So
Interesting.
qualifiers are a little bit weird, and like obviously, like US won the last one, so they automatically qualified. They're hosting it, so they automatically qualified. There's a couple of like auto qualifiers, and if you win a certain X amount of stuff, you get in automatically. Um, Getting last in yours means you have to actually go through those. So, like
Gotcha.
100%. Yeah. So,
Gotcha.
Chinese
Gotcha.
Taipei and China both have to. Japan and Italy is going to be a weird one. I think Japan's just a significantly better team than Italy. And I
Yeah.
don't know what day pool play or the brackets are starting. Probably sometime this coming weekend,
Um.
I'd imagine.
So so game one, which would be Pool B runner up, which would be the Italy and Japan game. No, I'm sorry. Uh, that would be the that'll be the Cuba and Australia game. That'll be on the 15th, and then Italy
Oh,
Japan would
that's
be on
pretty
the
soon. That's
16th.
in 2 days. So those are going to happen, and
Yeah.
we're still going to be having pool play going on because DR and Puerto Rico play on the 15th.
Yeah, pool play for C and D is March 11th through 15th. So yeah,
Very interesting.
we'll probably get those games, and then the March 15th the quarterfinal game probably at nighttime maybe. But that's in Japan, so no, that'll be
Yeah.
in the morning. Yeah,
Very interesting. The way they've set up the schedule, this is the one thing I haven't liked about this tournament so far. The
it's
schedules made
weird.
no sense. The tournament started last Wednesday, but Canada played their first game yesterday, which was Sunday. So you had Wednesday through
Soto just hit a
Sunday.
tank.
Shout out. Shout out to Dominican. But like it doesn't make a lot of sense. And I don't know why like Group A was finished before Canada even got a game in.
It's weird.
I'm
It's
sure there
weird.
were scheduling issues with the MLB. I'm sure they're working really closely with the MLB specifically because obviously a majority of the players in this are probably from the MLB. So maybe it was that. I don't fully know, but I haven't the scheduling's not been great and I don't like starting elimination while there's still pool play games to be had. That feels very
And
odd to
and
me.
I also don't like that we you said US is hosting it, but then we also got games in Taiwan and Japan. So it's like, well, what do we got going on? Why don't we have everybody in one spot? Why do we have them across the world?
Yeah, like
It's
just have
that's a weird thing to me.
have your host country and move from there. But like it's not.
Yeah, like if we were gonna have it all around Japan, cool, do that. Or U.S., awesome. But now you got this weird thing, and I mean for us it's cool because like you mentioned before, we get games all day long. But
That
at the
might be
same
part of
time,
it. That might have been part of it.
yeah, I don't really know how past WBCs have really looked or worked and operated because I haven't followed them closely, and I mean that's fair because once every 4 years could definitely roll up on you quick and skedaddle into the
But
sunset.
it's only a
So
2.5 week event. So
yeah, so I mean I've never really tuned in on them, but seeing it now, there's definitely a lot of weird things that I'm not a fan of.
yeah, and that's I do like the run rule though. Shout out to that. Just oh,
Oh, the run rule is awesome.
you're down 10. Get out of here, bro. We don't
Yeah,
need to keep this
yeah.
going.
I
Give
wonder if
them
they're gonna do that in like outside of pool play though.
maybe. I don't really see why not. I know when I
I
like
don't either,
if for everybody who's
but
ever played travel ball, like run rules still applied. Like why? Because you're not gonna come back down 10. If you're giving up 11 runs in the third inning, you're not winning.
no.
So bye bye, bye bye.
Bye.
Yeah. I'm excited for that Cuba Australia game. Australia's looked surprisingly like really good, and I don't, their pool wasn't great. Like Czech was not the riveting opponent I was expecting, and Cuba didn't look dominant by like any means. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that might be a pretty decent game. Australia showed they could score a little bit, which is pretty cool, and that's like gonna have to work for them because their pitching is not the best, and pitching's definitely just an issue in general in this tournament. If you saw USA play Mexico last night, boy, did their pitchers look bad. They did not look
Terrible.
good, and I don't know if it's a pride thing where you look at some of these like Japan, obviously, and then you look at Cuba and Puerto Rico and Dominican and Venezuela, who look like the best teams right now. Those five, and Mexico. You have to put them in there after last night. For
Yeah.
whatever reason, like the U.S. just could not get any of their pitchers in this game. There's zero reason. Adam Wainwright and Nick Martinez are your game 1 and game 2 starters. Like Nick Martinez legitimately didn't make the Padres starting 5 last year, and Adam Wainwright is 43.
Yeah, I don't know why he's here.
He's throwing 84 miles an hour, and he's coming out here against Great Britain pitching. What are we talking about? What are we doing?
Terrible.
What are we doing?
Yeah, I really don't have any confidence in the US that we make it out.
Well, make it out, right? So part of the issue right now is we have a negative run differential. That's bad. Canada is a billion run differential, but granted, they've only played one game. So,
Yeah.
my biggest issue is I have no idea how good or not good Colombia is.
Yeah.
I just don't know. I mean, if US, which today they play Canada, and then tomorrow they play Colombia, or in 2 days they play Colombia, whichever of those it is. If they win out, they're in. It's pretty simple, right? You get 3 wins, you're advancing. That's just how that's gonna go.
Hmm.
But Colombia beat Mexico, and Mexico beat the brakes off of us. So by the law of by transferring those scores over, it's looking real rough.
Yeah.
But shout out Joey Meneses because he's a dog, he's a beast, and he hit 2 home runs yesterday. We were watching the game while I was streaming, and we were going crazy for my boy Joey Meneses because for whatever reason we really like him. He's really fun.
So, who are you taking out of Pool C?
Pool C, I'm gonna say I want to say Canada, but I need them to win. Like I need them to play one more game. If they go 2-0, it's gonna be them.
Yeah.
But
I mean
them
that's
only
fair.
playing one game is like I don't.
And that's why this is the fun predictions because we don't know.
I have no
This is
idea.
this is just off who the cutest. That's it. No
U.S. and
no talent.
U.S. and Mexico.
U.S. and Mexico.
U.S. and
Okay,
Mexico.
I got Canada and Mexico.
There's no way that the U.S. don't advance. There's just no shot. There's no shot.
I mean I hope I'm wrong.
There's no shot. I mean, it would make sense though. Mike Trout's on the team, so why would they make the
Yeah,
playoffs?
yeah. I mean,
Why would
no,
they
no
make the
reason.
playoffs? Yeah, Mike Trout's there. No way. Not
Yeah,
a chance. Also, we have habitual chokers, Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt. So
yeah. So I mean, it's fair. It's definitely fair.
there's
But
only so
I'm
much
going
Kyle
Canada.
Tucker can do.
Hmm.
Habitual winner, Kyle Tucker, and not choker. He's great when it matters.
But is he going to rally the troops? I don't think so.
Let's go down to Group D real quick because this one is not shaping up how we thought at all.
No, we
I mean,
thought this was going to be spicy all the way all the way around, and
well, it
oh
is. Oh, it
boy,
is. Oh, it is. It's going to be, but kind of different. Dominican loses their first game. They kind of got beaten pretty bad by Venezuela, and we're like, oh, okay, Venezuela. And Venezuela has a very good team, but like everybody coming into this tournament is like the Dominican, like that's the team. And then Venezuela comes in against Puerto Rico, and they put up like 7 big ones right away, and it's like, whoa, like what are they doing over there? And they wind up winning that game like 9-6 or 9-7. Israel gets a really big win yesterday. It was over Nicaragua, so it is what it is. But they get a big win. They're 1-0. So there's 4 teams that are still in this pool right now. Venezuela's
yeah,
gonna advance. They're 2-0. I don't imagine that they played Puerto Rico and Dominican and won. They have Israel and Nicaragua. There's no way they lose both of those. They're gonna win
yeah,
one.
they
They're gonna
got
win
it.
one. They're gonna win.
They got it in the bag.
They're gonna win one of them. So then you have 3 teams with Israel, Puerto Rico, and Dominican fighting for that last spot. And Israel has a leverage point because they don't have a loss yet. Dominican has that negative run differential, which is proving to be huge already. But they play Puerto Rico head on.
And I mean, they are playing Nicaragua right now, and they're up 5-0. So
Even.
that's
They're even.
yeah,
1-1, no run differential. They're still behind Puerto Rico.
still behind.
They're still behind. So if they got to win out, and then again, if the Dominican wins out, they go 3-1. They're in. If you win 3 games,
Yeah,
you're in. It's really that simple. You win 3 games, you're in.
yeah.
But Puerto Rico has to play the Dominican, and they play Israel tonight, I believe. I checked the slate earlier, but I got off of it. I can go back real quick.
Yeah, they're playing Israel.
They play Israel at 7, U.S. Canada at 10.
Yep.
Colombia, Great Britain at 3 o'clock. So we'll have a little bit more answers. Puerto Rico needs to win this essentially. If they lose this, they're probably done.
Yeah.
Probably.
Not yeah, great. So out of Pool D, I got Venezuela and DR.
I'm probably gonna agree. That probably would have been my predictions before the tournament anyway. I don't think this Puerto Rican team is that good, despite wanting them to be good. I don't think they're as good as we would have wanted.
Coming in, I probably had Puerto Rico and DR.
That's because you didn't look at that Venezuelan roster. Them boys.
I didn't.
Yeah. They got a squad over there. They really do.
Yeah, I mean, those are probably 3 of the most stacked teams in terms of like names and stuff.
And then obviously U.S. I mean, if you look at the U.S. roster or the lineup, you're like, come on, bro. That's unfair. That's the Avengers.
Yeah.
That's the Avengers. But baseball is a weird sport. It's a fickle
Baseball's
sport.
weird. Baseball's weird.
Because if you rolled this team out, they're the equivalent for like any other sport, and the U.S. had that, it's like, oh, well, just you're cooked. Like, for men's basketball, like, we don't lose. And this is essentially the men's basketball team.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same thing. Here we are, getting almost run ruled by Mexico. Mexico looked good, though, so shout out.
And I mean, it's funny because you look at, like, Japan, and you go down their list. I mean, you got Lars Nootbaar and Otani.
Lars Nootbaar's a stud, though.
No, I feel it. But
they have the best pitching in the tournament. So
I'm just going off of names. That's it.
Yeah, Nootbaar.
So don't. And the point is, don't when it comes to games like this, Don't worry about all that.
Yeah, yeah, seriously.
It don't matter.
It don't matter, no, 'cause I got you.
Not matter. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be sick.
Yeah, and we're gonna switch gears a little bit over to the NFL because, like I mentioned at the top of the show, the NFL free agency window has officially started. Like the tampering window, where teams are actually able to go ahead and talk to people. I don't know if deals are like officially able to be signed yet.
There is one of them happened right when we went live, and that is Jimmy Garoppolo is signing a 3-year, 600. No, $67.5 million deal with the Raiders.
200 million a year for Jimmy G. Sign me up. That is the most Vegas thing. Oh no.
Back it up, back it up. But
That
yeah,
was
67.5 mil for Jimmy G to go to Vegas.
you scared me.
That scared
You
myself.
scared me. That doesn't do anything. I don't know why they would do that. Does that push the needle in any way? Is Jimmy G actually good? No. So why are we doing? I mean, that's actually pretty cheap. Shout out to the Raiders. Was it 3 years, 60 something mil, 20 mil a year for a veteran quarterback is actually like pretty okay.
Yeah, like would you consider it a downgrade from Derek Carr?
Yeah, Derek Carr's better than
Yeah,
Jimmy
so I
G.
mean,
Yeah,
yeah, so you get him
yeah.
for
Yes,
20 mil a
absolutely.
year after no, but I'm saying like Derek Carr went
What is
for
this like 45?
150.
Yeah, you signed for like
Yeah.
35 or 4. I don't know. It's some ridiculous
So
number.
it's like even though you get a drop off and then Jimmy G is
How much of a drop off
50%,
is it?
probably not much. Probably not much.
Everything
But I
matters
mean,
when
you
you're
get it
already
for
bad,
cheaper.
but
Yeah, and I mean, Jimmy G is weird because he shows spurts of like, okay, he's your guy, he can get it done. Then he shows spurts of like, when are we putting the backup in?
like
So
soon, please.
yeah, so there's no three-headed monster over there in Vegas. So Jimmy's the guy. What does that bring? We're gonna see. But
Well, the cool part is now that Jimmy's gone, it's Trey Lance and it's Brock Purdy, and that's pretty nice. There's no like weird veteran that you have to worry about. Like the future
yeah,
QB that's gonna be there for a while is gonna figure itself out in San Francisco, and I'm pretty sure Brock Purdy's a free agent right now too, if I'm not mistaken. Like he was a rookie, but since he was Mr. Irrelevant, it was just like a 1 year deal or something of that nature. So it would be cool to figure out what happens over there. And I'm hoping it's Trey Lance just for the Niners' sake that they didn't trade up and give away all those picks to get Trey Lance. Then he never touches the field after, like he explodes, and then that's it. That's the Trey Lance
I'm on the
experiment.
I'm on the other side of that. Love Trey. I hope that Purdy takes it and the Niners did it for no reason.
I'm kind of down. I'm kind of
Uh,
down. I
Also,
can't.
I'm gonna keep on giving live updates. Manny Machado just went deep, 6-0.
They're pounding them. Nice. Let's go. I kind of like when teams trade up for a quarterback and then it doesn't work out. Shout out to the Bears getting Mitch Trubisky. And like I really like it, especially when like the karma full cycles, right? So now the Bears, which this is something we got to talk about, the Bears traded the number one overall pick. They traded to the Carolina
They
Panthers.
did.
The Bears get the
They
first round
did.
this year from the Panthers, which is ninth overall. They get next year's first round pick. They get 2 second-round picks, and they get DJ Moore. So they get a really good haul for only moving down 8 spots. The
Yeah.
issue, the issue, the issue
hmm
is that we've heard this narrative all season, all off season, all of last season. Justin Fields has nobody to throw to. Justin Fields has nobody to throw to. The Bears traded the 33rd pick in the draft to go get Chase Claypool. He did nothing. Essentially a first round pick to get Chase Claypool.
Yeah.
He was horrible and they didn't play an offense for him. Maybe a year outside of whatever last year was in the offense. Now he's not allegedly number one, but really he was a number 8. But you get into the offseason, you have DJ there. Maybe he can learn how to like run a route because he can't do that. Now he has weapons. right? He has weapons. Darnell Mooney's going to be healthy. Now they have DJ Moore. They're probably going to draft a wide receiver as well somewhere in the second or third round because they have an extra second rounder now. Might as well draft another wide receiver. So Justin Fields is going to have weapons. And what's going to happen when the Bears go from the last place throwing offense in the league to like the 23rd? When when the needle gets moved hardly. And it's like, what happens? Because you gave him a weapon.
Yeah.
And so now you're like, oh man, well now our defense is all good and blah 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 blah. Because I bet you I guarantee you in the ninth pick of this draft, guess what they're gonna draft? Edge rusher or linebacker. It's just what's gonna happen. It's what's gonna happen. They're gonna draft an edge rusher or linebacker. Now their defense is gonna become just like the Bears' defenses were in the mid 2010s. And guess what the Bears are gonna do? Choke in the playoffs because they can't score points because their offense isn't good. Because they don't have an elite quarterback because I think Fields is cool. I think he's fun. I think he's the best running quarterback in the league. But like, he's not super accurate. He doesn't take great throws in the pocket because, granted, he doesn't have a lot of time. He doesn't have open receivers, but when he does, he doesn't hit them that often. And the Bears are gonna bear, and I think they won this draft or this trade with the Panthers because the Panthers could have just tanked and got the number 1 overall pick. They were that bad. But like they decided to win some games at the end of the year. It was weird.
That's the worst part about this whole thing. If you were just bad, you're here. You don't got to give up nothing.
It's crazy. But I kind of like it because they're trading up and they're going to go try and get their quarterback in the future. They get to pick whoever they want. Instead of trading up to 3 or 2 or 3 like the Bears did to get Trubisky, they're going to 1 and getting anybody they want. They're going to probably draft Bryce Young. Hopefully it works out. If he can look over his O-line, it will work out. I don't know if he can. Dude's my height. It's not good. It's not great.
That's not good at all.
It's not great. But I don't know. I feel like the Bears are going to bear, and it feels great. And everybody, if you go on TikTok right now and search like NFL, you're probably seeing so many random dudes like the Bears in 2 years are going to be dangerous. It's like, yeah, dangerous
but that's the thing.
Themselves.
Like they have all these draft picks, but you still got to draft.
When did the Bears do successful in the draft offensively? When have they ever? Like literally ever.
So it's like, yeah, cool. You got what, 4 or 5 draft picks? In theory, like you would think, oh yeah, we're set up for the future. We're gonna make some moves. We're gonna do this and that. What faith does anybody have except for like Bear diehards that are being optimistic?
And now the only optimism you have now is that you have to trust that the Bears, who traded down from 1 to 9, are gonna have a guy who's a blue chip player fall in their lap. What are the odds of that? How many great players are drafted at 9 in like a position of need for the Bears? Like they're gonna wind up having to draft a guy at a position they already are like good at. The Bears are good at like 2 positions.
Yeah,
they're gonna wind up drafting a guy at that position because it's the best available. And it's gonna be like, yep, here we go. Watch, I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
But you also got to develop these players too. And are we looking at the Bears as like a place that people are getting drafted to and they're going to develop into stars, into a good system with good coaching and a good scheme? No.
No. Players get worse when they go to the Bears.
No.
Khalil Mack dropped off after his first year with the Bears. He got worse.
Yeah, so
God.
Cool for the Panthers. They did their thing, and I mean draft picks are draft picks, whatever. But you trade.
Losing DJ is tough. He was young wide receiver.
Losing DJ's tough, but I mean, you go get a quarterback, and if you don't got a quarterback, DJ's doing nothing. So.
Well, he has been doing nothing. I do
exactly. So
I do like trading him over anybody else on the roster too, because if there's any position that's seemingly been replaceable outside of running back, it's been wide receiver because the drafts have been so good lately. Like every draft is producing 7 quality starting wide receivers at least.
Yeah.
Over the last couple of years, going back to like the Jefferson draft class, and I think the one before that had AJ Brown. Like, there's been some really good wide receiver draft classes. I guarantee you they'll try and get somebody in like the 3rd or 4th round. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. I don't know, man. But weird drafts. we're weird trades. What else do we got? We said Jimmy G, and we mentioned this first overall. Austin Eckler apparently is reporting to want to trade from the Chargers. Uh, to running back, I don't think the Chargers are that mad. Like they're just like, hey man, like that's fine. We weren't gonna pay you 24 million next year anyway, so good luck. And
The the biggest thing, and I mean, it doesn't really have anything to do with free agency itself, but we got Aaron Rodgers
that is
just
looming.
being dangled out there. So
Yeah, and
who?
we have no idea where Rodgers is gonna go, and that's obviously a big deal because he still can play. And I mean, he's not the back to back MVP Rodgers he was a couple years ago, but he looked okay at times, especially in the second half of the season. And
Yeah, and I mean, you take him out of Green Bay, where Green Bay has just been weird the last couple years, especially after Devontae leaving. Like it's just kind of been there. So you move Rodgers, he gets a fresh start, new system, new faces, new targets. Whoever he goes to is gonna go up a couple of seeds, or regardless of what happens.
yeah,
And I mean, all signs are pointing to the Jets right now.
they're burning
Who
cheese heads
knows?
for him. They're
Yeah, the burning
sacrificing
cheese heads.
sacrificing the
the
Gouda for him.
the sacrificial Gouda. So I mean, all signs are pointing to that, but I mean, you really never know.
Yeah, you really don't. And is it a trade? Probably. How much goes into that trade? Probably not a lot because Aaron's going to get like 45 million next year. So there's like, how do you make the cap room work? Well, you don't give up a whole lot. It's kind of some strange stuff. The Packers are going to have to eat some money, and if they even want to trade him, he might just
Yeah,
retire. Like that gets very hairy with Aaron, and everything that Aaron brings is always some nonsense too. Mitch
yeah,
McGlinchey signs with the Broncos. That's actually a really good pickup for them. One of the better offensive tackles in the league. Signing with the Broncos. So shout out. I know the Bears were trying to get him, and the Bears bared and didn't get him. So shout out. Russell Wilson will still not cook, but at least he'll have some time in the pocket potentially.
mhm.
Jason Kelsey is returning to the Eagles, which is a big W for them. I know there was a pretty significant conversation that he might retire. So he'll be back for his 13th season. I bet you this is his last season. It's a long time to be playing offensive lineman. My goodness.
Yeah, especially center,
Like
especially center.
your knees
Like
are
if
giving
you're a
out.
left tackle, cool, you could get some years, but I mean, center is
It's a
a
different beast.
banged up. Yeah, man. So Jason Kelsey's dope, and I mean, I saw a video of him, and I think it was the GM. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but somebody with front office personnel. They poured up a shot. They were celebrating and stuff, and they were just talking about, all right, let's get to Vegas,
Yeah,
and Vegas is where the Super Bowl is going to be. So they got a positive attitude, and I
that's
mean,
good.
why
We
wouldn't
like
they?
that.
Why
Yeah,
wouldn't Why wouldn't they?
I like me some positive attitude. I really do. Whether it's
Yeah,
completely blowing smoke or not, I don't know. But I like it.
I mean, but you can't even say blowing smoke right now because you're coming off of
They're probably the
a
favorites.
competitive, yeah, a competitive Super Bowl loss.
Yeah.
If they got blown out, you're like, oh yeah, we're gonna get back. Oh, okay, relax,
Chill.
relax now.
Well,
You lost by
they're still
40.
young.
Relax.
They're still young. They're not
Yeah,
losing players. Like when the Rams won, it was like okay, they either have to do it again next year or it's over. And
yeah,
it was already over because injuries happened. And it was like oh GG.
yeah. So like, I have no doubt that we'll see the Eagles in at least a conference championship game for the next 2 years.
Or like in that
I
like in the realm of it, right? Like they'll
yeah.
be yeah.
But whether they make it all the way through, that's to be seen. But they'll compete. I see no reason as long as they're healthy that they don't compete.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is gonna keep on getting better, and,
Yeah.
and that's scary.
Because that's all he's ever done. It's pretty sick.
That's all he's ever done,
Yeah.
and
And that
everybody around him balling, developing, doing their thing. So
yeah. You mentioned going to Vegas. And I know a team clearly trying to do that right now. Miami Dolphins. They traded for Jalen Ramsey. They get him for the fleece job of all time. Like when the
oh my
Rams
god,
traded for Ramsey, they gave up 2 first round picks. 2 first round picks for Jalen Ramsey. a couple of years later, 4 years later, they wound up trading him for a player who was drafted in the third and a third rounder.
Yeah.
Now, how Miami's going to make
Bag
that
of
money
peanuts.
work, do not ask me, because they have like the highest paid CB, the highest paid wide receiver. Tua's going to get paid in like 2 years if they wind up keeping him. Waddell's going to get paid in like 2 years if they wind up keeping him. They got a lot of cap issues they're going to have to deal with.
Yeah.
Don't care though, because they got Jalen Ramsey. He replaces, I think, Byron Jones, which Byron was like getting older, so it's like, sure. And if you're getting rid of Byron Jones and replacing it with Jalen Ramsey, I think you're in a good spot. Jalen's still one of the better corners in the league, and that defense gets a very scary weapon over there. Is it a name brand weapon more so than like a practical one? Probably, but that's a lot of teams like to do that. So, you got any other NFL news? I know. Daniel Jones resigns for the Brinks truck. I don't know if we talked about that. I don't know when that was, but Daniel Jones and Geno. This is a resign for the Brinks
Yeah.
truck.
Shout out to Geno. I'm not mad at that move, but Daniel Jones. well, we'll see. We'll
40,
see. Got a lot of money. A lot of money.
$40 million for a quarterback who's not top 15 is insane. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the slander.
I believe Saquon got franchised as well.
He did get franchised.
Like 10 mil.
Lamar got his weird franchise. A lot of people got.
He got a non-exclusive. Yeah, he got a non-exclusive franchise tag, so he could still contact other teams. And I guess this is the time where that happens. Now that like
he couldn't do it before
the legal tampering. I've never even heard that term with the NFL before, but regardless. Legal tampering is here. Lamar is out there. He's looking to move out. He has a home. Doesn't want to live there no more. He wants to spread his raven wings and fly. So
the Louisville.
I'm mad at it.
He's not trying to be a Raven no more. The Louisville Wings. And then I had some sad news this week with Eric Kendricks and Adam Thielen both getting released from the Vikings. There's been a lot of guys getting released. Those are probably two of the bigger names just in football that got released. I mean, Eric is an All-Pro. Adam's an All-Pro. Multiple Pro Bowls from between those guys. Both been with the Vikings for a long time. I think Adam's been with the team like 9 years already. It's pretty crazy. And, yeah, it sucks to see those guys go. I wish they could have restructured deals, but both of them feel like they're worth more than probably like the vet minimum the Vikings are trying to give them. So, they're going to be looking at free agency. It's going to be really weird seeing Adam probably play in a new city, probably like Buffalo. Like, I would not be shocked if he goes to Buffalo or hopefully just not a division rival. Just don't go to the Bears. He wouldn't do that. He's a Viking. He grew up a Vikings fan. He wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that.
If he did that, man.
Don't go to the Packers, bro. Please. He might. If they give him the most money, it might happen. I hope not. Anything with that. Have Adam Thielen come to the Bucks. Ooh, buying that jersey.
That'll be sick.
Yeah,
that'd be sick. That boy might even go to a game too. That'll be sick. Maybe.
Go to the Chargers.
If the Jets do get Rodgers, like I would love to pick up Thielen on like a little more than a vet min.
I mean, yeah, but he's a veteran guy. He could teach a lot of stuff to those guys over there.
Oh yeah, and anywhere Thielen goes, like I still think he could make an impact. Yeah, he's lost a couple of steps, but he's still elite. Like if you could just get him the ball and not have him going crazy trying to go up for it over the head because you're overthrowing him and got him running across.
He might still be really good. I think just like when Kevin O'Connell came in, he was just like, "Hey man, you're not going to be here next year, so we're not going to put our offense around you." I don't know. It had to have been something like that because they just did not get the ball. I don't know either. But that's pretty much all we got for this week. March Madness is coming out. I don't know if you want to talk about that. We're getting a little long in here, but we'll talk the 1 seeds real quick. Alabama, Houston, Kansas, Purdue. Kansas, no surprise.
No surprise at all.
The rest of those teams, they're not like typical 1 seeds, so kind of cool to see a little bit of a shakeup. Alabama being good at basketball. Bama's the best team in the country this year. Best team in the country
Yeah,
this year.
that's weird.
Very strange. And then, once you get to the 2 seeds, they make more sense. Arizona, UCLA, Texas, Marquette. You see those, you're like, basketball. Yeah. It makes way
We
more sense.
we will be doing a March Madness spectator ESPN bracket.
Mm-hmm.
So there will be a giveaway. Stay tuned at Spectators Media on Instagram. We will be giving you a lot more details about that. So good luck when you whatever prize that we gonna give. I'm not gonna give you no spoiler here. Go check out the IG and you're gonna find it all out.
This is true. That'll be probably up today, tomorrow, maybe by Wednesday, but it'll be up pretty soon.
It will be up definitely when the tournament brackets open up, and
Yeah.
that will be in very soon. So
Yeah. So appreciate you, and we'll see you guys next time. Later, everybody.
adios.